Hi everyone! This little video right here is about using images in a web page. And hopefully there have been some videos that you've watched where you learned about the different file formats that you can use in a web page, things like JPEG, GIF, SVG, PNG, and you know a bit about that. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to walk through the steps you might go through, the way I do it basically, how I grab images, what I do with them, and then how I put them in a page. So you're just gonna watch me, stumble through this. Hopefully it won't be too painful. We're going to make a little page here where I'm just going to grab 3 photos, and I want to just kind of like a photo gallery, but a very basic, non-functioning photo gallery. I'm going to grab 3 photos, size them so they're all the same, and then display them in a page, with a headline. Pretty basic. I've started here already. I'm going to do like weird plants. So I have 3 photos of some really strange looking plants here. So let's get started. So I've grabbed these from the internet, but they're all different sizes. So I want to make sure they're the same. I know that in the page that I'm using, I'm never going to need them to be above, more than 300 pixels wide. And I know that I need them to all be squares. Okay. So here they are. Here we go. I'm going to open these up in Photoshop. Ta-da. And I'm kind of going through what I'm doing here is kind of basic. There's probably fancier ways to do this. And definitely if you have a lot of photos, like you're doing an e-commerce site and then you've got like 1,000+ products, you do not want to do them one by one. At that point, you want to learn how to do things like batch processing, where you create, you decide how you want all of them to be saved, and you create this sort of function where it goes through and it does all of them at the same time. But we only have 3 here, so I'm going to do them all. Okay, so I want them to be square. Right now, it's already in the crop mode because I hit C, which opens the crop tool. One thing I'm noticing, I've got some white marks up here. So I'm going to hit C. I'm going to make sure that, okay, my cropping tool is constrained to a square aspect ratio, 1:1. Good, so it's only going to be a square no matter what I do to it. I don't need to do too much. I just need to get those little lines out. So I'll just bring it down a little bit, scoot it over maybe with the keys. Okay, good enough. All right. Now, what you could do at this point is you could go into image size, and in here I could change the pixel dimensions. We're talking about pixel dimensions here and not necessarily resolution, because it doesn't matter what the resolution is. You could have it at a 1-inch picture, but if it's 600 dpi, which would be print, if you open it in a web page, it's going to spread those images out. So it's going to be, I don't know, how many would that be? 6 inches wide? I don't know. You can do the math, but it doesn't matter. It's going to take every single bit of information and spread it out all over the pixel grid on the screen. So we really want to focus on pixel dimensions here. And like I said, I want them to be 300 by 300. So I could change it here and then save it. Or I'm used to doing it this way. File, save for web. In other versions of Photoshop, I think it's under export maybe, but I've got an old one here. So save for web. And what this does is it allows me to play around with the compression. So there's tabs up here. The original looks like this. And then I can do and then, well, let's say the original looks like this, and then over here I can play with what kind of file type I want it to be and how much I want it to be compressed. But first, before I do that, I can size it down right here. That's why I like doing it Save for Web, because I can resize it and compress it at the same time. So I'm going to say when I'm going to say I want it 300 by 300. Now it's resized. And I don't want to zoom in and look at this. It's tempting to like zoom in and see how the quality is. No one's going to look at it like that. You need to look at it as how 100% pixels, how people are actually going to see it. So I have it as a JPEG here. And these tabs up here are nice. This one here, what it does is it compares the original to whatever you're trying to do to it. So you can see how much detail you might be losing as you compress it. So here's the original, and down here you can see that this is 264K. That's a little big for a little dinky image, right? Well, actually we cropped it, so it wouldn't be that bad. And then here, if we compress it and with a 60% quality at a JPEG, we've reduced it to 22.14K. Pretty good. And then you can play with these other ones. You know, ping popped it up a lot there. So ping might not be worth it in this case. JPEG was a lot smaller. And in the quality bar here, I can see 100% quality versus a really low quality. And I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it really got all boxy and pixelated there. So what you do here is you just play with it until you find that perfect Goldilocks medium. It's not too cold, it's not too hot, it's not too fuzzy, it's not too big. And in this case, I'm going with like a 40, what did I say, 40%, or I don't know, let's see, 60. How different is 60 from 40? Yeah, I'm gonna go with 60. But I could have done 40. Okay. I'm happy, sized, compressed, save it. Where was my? Go back to the folder where I have the images. And this is my original, these are my original images. And now, because I've reduced the size and I've compressed it, if I save over the original there, I've lost some information from that image has been permanently deleted. I don't really want to do that. I want to hang on to my original. So inside of here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to name it, I don't know, 300 pixels to tell me that these are the ones that have been resized. You can, come up with your own naming convention. Great. And I'm just going to save it in there like that. Whatever. Don't show this. I don't want to see that. Okay, great. So we've got the first one. We're going to do the same to this one. Crop it. Move it over. Okay. Yeah. Go, go, go. Crop it, move it over. File. Save for web. Bring it down to 300. 60, I'm going to leave it at 60. I'm going to say save. Baobab in the 300 pixel folder. Done. Okay, next one. Oh, look, it's already, cropping tool is already there. Looks good. This is a weird plant, by the way. It's like they could live to like 500 to 1,000 years old, and there's technically only two leaves on it that continue to grow like forever. It's very strange. File, save for web, bring it down 300, and then I'll leave it 60 for now. I just want to get through this. Save inside the Wolchwichia inside the 300 pixel folder. Save it. Awesome. Let's go check it out. So we have originals there, and we probably could have a file called originals, and then we can see these are all nicely resized for us. Boom, boom. Yay! Okay, so now time to put them in an HTML page. I've already got a folder here called Weird Plants. I'm going to make another folder called I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, sorry. So, all right. So let's make a web page. Okay, ignore all this. Sorry, my bad. New text file in Atom, please. Thank you. So this is going to be our HTML file that we're going to put the images into. I'm going to go over and grab my handy little shell file. Just going to grab it like that. I'm going to call it Weird Plants. I'm not going to grab the CSS link tag because it's just a one-page example. Probably, if I have any styles at all, it'll be like 2 lines. So I'm just going to put them in the head. This is not a serious web page. Okay, cool. Command C for copy and Command paste. And now I'm going to save as an HTML file. Gotta go find that folder. Weird plants, weird plants, weird plants. Okay, index dot, I'm saving it as index.html. Okay, great. Now, in order to get the photos to show up, we're going to use our handy trusty image tag. Image, M-I-G, standing for image. Let's do this. Okay, so it's IMG is the image tag. It's one of those that doesn't have a closing tag because it just is what it is. And the 2 main attributes that it needs are, the first one is source equals. And this is like when you're linking to the CSS files, you have to tell it exactly where to go. So let's say the first one is the, I can't spell the white shitty one, so I'm just saying baobab.jpg. Well, I can't really just type that because if we look back at the file structure, that's actually the original image that's way too big. I should probably just put them in a folder called originals. Why don't I do that so I don't get confused? Okay, so now you can see that the images I want to use are in here, 300 pixels. So I can't just call Baobab because it's not hanging out in the same folder as the index. I have to tell it what folder to go into. So the proper file path name for this would be 300 pix slash. So you're saying find the folder called 300 pixels and then inside of it find the Baobab image. Let's save that and see what happens. Hey, what's up? We did it. Okay, let's put the other ones in there. Oh, I forgot something. We're not finished here. There's one more attribute that is very important and people overlook it way too often, and we're not going to do that because we are conscientious designers. It's this alt attribute. Alt means alternative, and what you put in here is just some text describing what is that picture. So I'm going to just say Baobab plant. And this is for various reasons. If for some reason the link doesn't work, at least someone could read the text and know, oh, there's supposed to be a Baobab plant photo there. Or if someone can't, is visually impaired, screen reader will say photo of baobab plant. You roll over the plant, you see the thing pop up with the name of something. Sometimes that does that. So it's very important to put that there. So let's copy this. And change the names to, what was that weird one? Weissche. Well, Weissche. Yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm going to say Weissche plant. This one is a Lithop. I know that one because I have one. Okay, so now I've got all 3 of the image tags in there. Let's see what happens. Save. Over here. Reload. Yay! And you know, what's nice about the image tag for this purpose, because it does exactly what I want, is that it's an inline tag. So they're lining up nicely next to each other. I don't have to do any floats or a grid or anything like that. So thank you, image tag, for being an inline element. I want to give this a headline in here. I'm going to say H1, very strange plants. Save that. Let's go back and see what that looks like. Right, we're rocking. And then let's just a couple more things I want to do. Maybe a little more space around, you know, around these images. And I want everything to be kind of centered. I'm gonna fancy it up a little bit here. That's why I said I want to put some CSS, but I want to do like 2 things. So I'm just gonna put it up here in the head tag because this is just an example page. Okay. So I kind of want all this to be centered. Funny thing about image tags, they are inline. So let's say I wrap this whole thing. Actually, I don't even need to, do I? Funny thing, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, let's say, just because we like wrapping things in divs, I'm gonna put a container around everything. And then up in container, I'm going to say text align center. Okay, this is the funny thing about images. They are inline tags, which means they just kind of go with the flow. And the flow being that of text. So let's just save it and make sure I'm not crazy. I think all of that will just center because of the text align, which is, well, we'll see. Actually, I already had it that way. But yeah, all I did was center text and it did all that for me. It's kind of strange because it's not text, it's images, but hey, I'm not going to argue. I like what it did. Let me add a little bit of space actually around for the container. Maybe I'll add some at the top, margin top, I don't know, 3M, save, a little bit better. We'll leave that there. Could be more, I bet. And then for the images, I don't know, a little bit more, margin, I don't know, just like a part of an M. Okay, I'm happy. This is good. So that's all we need for now. So I grabbed 3 images from the web. I resized them. I compressed them. I organized my files so that I have a folder of the images I need in the same project folder as my index page, I made sure that the file path inside the index page found that image, and then I just laid them out, you know, fairly decently. And that's basically it. You know, it can get more complicated if you have lots of files in lots of places, but image source is, you know, doesn't get much more complicated than that. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in class.